Thanks to Lenovo Legion and AMD for sponsoring today's video. Yo, these mid-tier gaming laptops, they're starting to look really good. So today we're checking out the Legion Pro 5, and we've also got the Legion 5. So we're gonna see if you need like a pro gaming laptop or if the Legion 5 is all you need. All right, so we're gonna start off with this guy. This is the Lenovo Legion Pro 5, and this is right in the sweet spot of Lenovo's gaming lineup. This is if you want like really good gaming capabilities, but you don't wanna go full like esports champion mode. And in terms of specs with this guy, we're looking at an AMD Ryzen 9 processor, an NVIDIA RTX 5070, up to 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage, up to Wi-Fi 7, and an 80 watt-hour battery with rapid charge, which basically lets this thing get up to 100% in 30 minutes. Mind-blowing stuff Lenovo's doing with these batteries, but that's your full rundown. So really good specs for a mid-tier system, but now in terms of like the hardware around it, we're looking at a 16-inch display. You have the choice between an OLED display with a 165 Hz refresh rate, or you can get an LCD display like this that has a 240 Hz refresh rate. And in terms of I/O, on the left side, you've got a power port, HDMI 2.1 port, 2 USB-C ports, USB-A, and then on the other side, you've got your Ethernet port, your electronic shutter for your webcam, 2 USB-A ports, and of course, your headphone jack. So you get a lot of ports and I/O on this thing. If you wanted to go ahead and dock this thing up to a monitor, in case you have like a full-blown gaming desk setup, this thing can power that whole setup with all of the I/O that it has, as well as just the specs you get in this thing. Now, because this is a gaming laptop, you're gonna be getting Lenovo's Legion cold front hypercooling system. All of the fans pick up the heat through the bottom, and it all comes out through the back. That's why we aren't seeing any ports in the back anymore. But I will say it does a really good job. Lenovo's cooling system is like some of the best I've seen in keeping these laptops cool to the touch, not getting any heat sent out to your hands while you're gaming. So that's definitely what you want if you want to have like a comfortable gaming experience, especially if you're doing long gaming sessions. That cooling system is going to help the laptop perform better for longer durations. So with all of that in mind, performance here is great. If you want to play like AAA titles, you'll be able to do that well. You know, get into some competitive gaming as well. And like I said, this isn't for like the crazy professional esports players, but if you're like a serious gamer who loves to grind out ranked sessions, this will definitely carry you through. And with the 5070 in here, the AMD Ryzen 9, and even Lenovo's AI chips, it makes a really good combination to get great performance, good frame rates, so you have like an overall really nice experience. And we'll throw up some numbers so you guys can see how it performs with some of like our favorite games. And considering these kind of specs, obviously you can use this for way more than just gaming. If you're into like content creation, that's absolutely on the table, especially if you go for like the OLED version. It just makes for a really nice content experience because the colors just look so good. You can do it on the LCD version as well, but I personally like to edit and do all my stuff on OLED displays. So this is way more than capable for a little bit of content creation if you want to check that out too. And speaking of content creation, if you want to be like, let's say a gaming content creator, this actually has some really dope software that you can use to kind of help along with that. It's called the Legion Space. And we've seen the Legion Space software on Lenovo's Legion Go devices. Those are their handhelds. But on the laptop, you get a little bit more. So in the Legion Space software, this is where you get your entire library. You can see all of the games that you own, the games that you play, and the different platforms that you can download games from. So it makes it really easy to go find your games on different platforms, download them. But you also get access to a bunch of controls for the actual laptop, whether that's your performance modes, or if you want to control like the RGB lighting under the keyboard, you can do all of that from here. But there's another section called the gaming zone where you can do things like turn on Game Clip Master as well as the Game Companion. The Game Clip Master is what I'm thinking about for like the content creation side of things. It'll use the AI in this device to find the best moments, your highlights, whenever you're doing a gaming session, and it'll clip those, kind of like what you would see on Twitch when you're like, oh, you'll clip that. Now you've got like a built-in AI partner to do that for you. And I've used it a bit, and it definitely clipped the parts that I would want to show people. I do wish the duration were a little bit longer. I would love to see like, I don't know, 20 to 30 seconds, but currently you can max it out at 15. But that's good enough to, you know, show you winning the match, or you getting maybe like a squad wipe or something, and you can take that and use that for your content creation. And it'll even try to add some like graphic templates to it to spice it up. I personally like the Bear clips. If you want to use it for content creation for gaming, you definitely have the ability to. And they've also got this game companion that'll basically like cheer you on as you game, like if you win a match or maybe you did something cool. Kind of like the same way it detects those clippable moments, it'll cheer you on in those. I don't know how many people will actually need that, but this is the little guy that'll basically be cheering you on as you play. But yeah, you could actually have it speak to you if you care. You know, Lenovo's looking out for all the lonely gamers out there. That's the Legion Pro 5. Now we gotta talk about the Legion 5. This one feels a little bit different for me. It's not as large as the Pro Series laptops. It still kind of has that gamer vibe. This one is way more low-key. Pretty much looks like your more traditional laptop with a pretty serious exhaust in the back. So for me, I kind of look at this one like your more traditional take everywhere with you laptop that's also capable of some really good gaming. And the laptop actually looks really good with this form factor. But in terms of specs, we're looking at AMD Ryzen AI 7 processor, up to an RTX 5070 in here as well, 32 gigs of RAM, both of Lenovo's AI chips, up to 2 terabytes of storage, Wi-Fi 7, an 80 watt-hour battery that uses the super rapid charge feature that gets it from 0 to 70% in 30 minutes. And that super rapid charge feature is actually really nice on this. It can kind of get lost on other gaming laptops because you almost always want to have them plugged in. But with this form factor, I feel like you're busting out this laptop for way more than just gaming, and being able to charge any laptop in just like 30 minutes is insane. And you still get a solid port selection here. You got your Ethernet port, 2 USB-C ports, USB-A on the left side, and on the right side, you've got your USB-A up here, electronic shutter button to turn off that webcam, which we'll get to in a second. You also get another USB-A port, headphone jack, and your power and HDMI 2.1 port are actually in the back. Now, it is nice to see these two ports in the back. I don't think the idea here is to be able to push this as far as you would something like the Pro Series. So you can afford to have some of the ports in the back here without it compromising Lenovo's cold front thermal system. Now, while this might not be as powerful as the Pro lineup, I kind of see this as the device you get if you love gaming, but maybe you're going off to college and you want a really solid laptop to handle all of your schoolwork. Maybe you've got some computer science classes, some STEM classes that you got to do, and you want a really solid computer to do that. And if you're a gamer, you still love the fact that you're able to play some of your favorite titles without it being like a bad experience. If you opt for something like the 5070 in here, you'll definitely be able to play really well and you don't have to break the bank. So definitely like casual gamer vibes. If Lenovo had all of these options back when I was going to college, this is probably the one I'd be looking at because it'd be within the price range that I'm looking for. Not to mention the fact that I would still be able to game and take this around to classes without it screaming that I'm like, lugging around a gaming laptop. Plus the form factor with this being a 15.1 inch display versus like the 16 inches. This makes it a lot easier to carry around. And like I said, I'd probably be looking at this guy as my like do it all laptop, but not to the extreme when it comes to gaming. And I just love the fact that it has some of those features you want from like, your standard everyday laptop, like having a Windows Hello camera so that I can just log in by having it scan my face. You can't do that with the Pro options, but you can do that here. It's a solid 1080p camera. So they definitely have like that person who's doing more than just gaming in mind for this device. So I definitely feel like this would be a more comfortable experience for folks who want a good laptop with the ability to game well. And while this is the most budget-friendly option, this thing is rocking a 15.1 inch OLED display that looks fantastic. Lenovo makes some of the best displays on laptops that I've ever seen. And this one's no different, even though it's at the more affordable range. So if you want to do like content consumption or content creation, gaming, whatever you want to throw at it, it'll look really good on this display because this display is sick. And of course, it has Legion Space and all of those other AI features that I was talking about. You also get access to Copilot Plus on this, which is not something you get with the other devices. So I feel like it's kind of safe to say, but I actually really like this one. It feels like these are two very similar devices. I mean, Legion 5, Legion Pro 5, they look pretty similar, but when you get down to it, you can see that they're pretty different devices. But you guys let me know which one you think fits you better. I'll of course have them both linked down below so you can check them out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Really like this one. So nice. clean.